Okay, look, I need to tell someone this. I mean, really tell someone. Because living with it, holding it in, it's eating me up. You know how people joke about dating app nightmares? Bad dates, getting ghosted, maybe a catfish or two? Yeah, I used to think that was the worst of it. God, I wish it still was. I used to scroll through those apps, Hinge, Bumble, whatever, thinking the biggest risk was wasting an evening on awkward conversation. I was so wrong. I didn't believe that kind of obsessive stuff, the kind you see in cheap thrillers, could actually happen. Not to me, anyway. Until it did. Until he happened. It all started so ridiculously normal. That's the terrifying part, isn't it? How something so sinister can crawl out from under the most mundane rock. I matched with this guy on Hinge. Let's call him Alex. That probably wasn't even his real name, who knows now. His profile seemed fine. That's the only word for it. Just fine. A couple of decent photos, smiling, outdoorsy, nothing too posed. He listed hiking and indie films as interests, same as me. Seemed harmless enough, you know? Just another face in the digital crowd. We chatted for a few days. Standard stuff. Work, weekends, favorite movies. The conversation flowed okay. Not exactly fireworks, but easy enough. So when he suggested grabbing coffee, I thought, why not? It was just coffee. A public place, daytime, safe. The date itself was, well, like his profile. Fine. He showed up on time, looked like his pictures. We talked. It wasn't awful, but there was just nothing there. No spark, no real connection. You know that feeling? When you're just sort of going through the motions? He seemed nice enough, but I knew pretty quickly this wasn't going anywhere. So, towards the end, I did the polite thing, said something like, "Hey, you seem like a great guy, but I just don't think we're the right fit romantically." Standard rejection script, right? He seemed a little disappointed. Maybe, but he nodded, said he understood. We paid, said goodbye, and I walked away thinking, okay, another one bites the dust. Moving on. I genuinely thought that was the end of it. That's where I was wrong. That's where the normal ended and the nightmare began. A few days later, maybe a week, my phone buzzed. A message from him. Alex, just asking how my weekend was. Okay, a little unexpected after the clear rejection, but maybe he was just being friendly, trying not to be awkward. I sent back a short, polite, non-committal reply. Something generic. Figured that would be it. Then, things got weird. Later. That night, I got a notification. Alex liked a photo on my Instagram. Okay. Then, another. And another. But these weren't recent photos. He was going back, way back. Liking pictures from college trips years ago. Photos with friends he couldn't possibly know. It was unsettling, like digital grave robbing. I remember thinking, okay, that's a little much. But I brushed it off. Maybe he was just bored, scrolling deep. People do weird stuff online, right? Right? But the messages didn't stop. They got more frequent. What are you up to? Why didn't you reply? Ping, ping, ping. Little demands for my attention popping up on my screen. Annoying, yes, but then came the one that made my blood run cold. I'd posted a quick story on Instagram, just a picture of my dinner at a little Italian place near my apartment. It was on my close friends list. Only about 20 people could see it. Maybe an hour later, a message from Alex. Hey, saw you had pasta tonight. Looks good. My breath hitched. How? How did he see that? He wasn't on my close friends list. He couldn't be. I checked, double-checked, triple-checked. He wasn't there. Had someone shown him? Did he somehow hack something? It didn't make sense. That was the first moment the annoyance curdled into real unease. A prickle of fear. This wasn't just clingy anymore. This was wrong. I'd had enough. I blocked him. Hinge, Instagram, anywhere I could think of. Hit block. Felt that tiny surge of relief. Problem solved. Right, wrong again. So wrong. The very next day, an email landed in my inbox, an address I didn't recognize, just a jumble of letters and numbers. The subject line? Thinking cock of you. Inside, the message was simple. Why did you block me? Followed by questions about my day, just like the app messages. My stomach plummeted. How did he get my email address? It wasn't on my Hinge profile. It wasn't easily searchable linked to my Instagram. How? Then, a new follower request on Instagram. A blank profile. No picture, no bio, 0 posts, 0 followers. Just a generic, anonymous handle. Against my better judgment, morbid curiosity maybe, I didn't block it immediately. And sure enough, every single time I posted a public story, even just a picture of my cat, a random skyline shot, that blank account was one of the very first viewers. Within minutes, every single time. It felt like electronic surveillance. He was still watching, just from behind a new mask. The digital creepiness was bad enough. But then, he crossed into the physical world. One per evening, I was curled up on the couch, watching some dumb reality TV trying to zone out. I heard this tiny sound, a faint click or tap at the front door, like a pebble hitting it maybe. I muted the TV, held my breath, listened, nothing. Just the usual city sounds outside. I crept to the door, heart pounding, and peered through the peephole. The hallway was empty, shadows, flickering fluorescent lights. No one. Just the building settling, I told myself. Just paranoia. But the next morning, oh God, the next morning. I opened the door to leave for work, juggling my coffee and my bag, and I almost stepped on it. Lying right there, perfectly centered on my doormat, was a single white rose. No note, no card, just the rose, clean, pristine, almost mocking me. And the worst part? The only specific personal detail I'd shared on that stupid coffee date, making awkward small talk, was that I loved white roses. I'd said it casually, a throwaway comment. He remembered. He'd been here, at my door, while I was inside. My legs felt weak. I slammed the door shut, locked the deadbolt, my hands shaking. This wasn't online anymore. This was real. After that, everything changed. Walking home from the subway at night became terrifying. Every footstep behind me sounded like him. Every shadow seemed to hold a figure. I'd whip my head around, heart hammering against my ribs, only to see nothing, just ordinary people walking home. Or maybe one of them was him. How would I even know for sure? He looked so normal. That was the horror of it. He could be anyone. One night, pulling into my street after a late shift, I saw it. Parked down the block, under a flickering streetlight. A dark sedan. The exact same make and model as the car he'd driven to our coffee date. I couldn't see who was inside. Maybe it was a just coincidence. How many dark sedans are there in this city? But the timing, the location, it felt too specific. I didn't drive past it. I circled the block, parked on a different street, and practically ran to my apartment building, fumbling with my keys, convinced someone was right behind me. I called the police. I actually did it. Sat there, phone shaking in my hand, trying to explain. The disinterested voice on the other end listened patiently, then told me what I already knew deep down. There was no direct threat, no explicit violence. He hadn't done anything illegal, technically. Liking old photos, sending emails, leaving a flower, seeing a similar car. It was all circumstantial. Creepy? Yes. Illegal? Apparently not. Document everything, the officer advised, his voice bored. Keep a record. Be vigilant. Maybe get a restraining order if he contacts you directly again. Restraining order? Based on what? A feeling? A tuxo? Rose? I felt so helpless, so utterly dismissed. So now, this is my life. I live behind drawn curtains. Seriously, I check them constantly. I triple-check the locks on my doors and windows before I even think about going to sleep, which isn't often, by the way. Sleep doesn't come easy anymore. Every creak of the floorboards, every siren in the distance, makes me jump. I deleted all my dating apps, obviously. Nuked most of my social media, except for a heavily locked down account I barely use. Changed my phone number, changed my email address. I think about moving, but how do I know he won't find me term? Again? How did he find my email, my close friend's story, my doorstep, the rational part of my brain, the part that used to roll its eyes at ghost stories, tries to tell me I'm overreacting, that maybe he just moved on. But the fear doesn't listen to reason. It's a cold knot in my stomach that never fully loosens. It's the constant nagging feeling of being watched. The knowledge that someone who seemed so normal, so fine, could curdle into this predator. He never matched with me. Not really. He just latched on. And the most terrifying part? I still don't know if he ever truly unlatched. He's just out there, somewhere, maybe watching me right now. All from one normal date. One swipe right that went terrifyingly wrong.